Peace, families. If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be updated on new drops and content. So it's being reported that a suspect has been held in custody after the disturbing incidents that happened in Wisconsin.
About 4:39 p.m., a red SUV drove into our Christmas parade that we were holding downtown. More than 20 individuals were injured as a result of this incident. The Waukesha Police Department has recovered a suspect vehicle. It's an ongoing investigation. Victims were actually transported from the scene via ambulance. Officers actually transported some of the injured personnel and took them to the hospitals, and some victims were actually transported by family members and friends to the hospital. It's a very tragic incident, very chaotic. There is no other threats involved. The scene is now safe.
So we definitely want to add our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to all affected by this incident, in which 5 people were killed, another injured, including 2 children who remain in critical condition as of this report. So Darrell E. Brooks has now been held in custody and charged with 5 counts of intentional first-degree homicide. Daniel Thompson, the police chief, has said in his afternoon press conference. So he said the suspect was involved in an unspecified domestic disturbance immediately before the incident, and further charges to that were also to be expected. They said there was no evidence of bloodshed being a terrorist attack, but everybody thought it was just very crazy what happened at this parade. So allegedly the guy, he drove right through the barricades to enter the parade and then raced towards a collision with those who were entertaining the holiday crowds, including a marching band, a troupe of dancing grannies, and a dance team of girls aged 9 to 15 performing with pom-poms and wearing Santa hats. So we don't know if this is, some kind of Christmas attack or anything like that, what led to this guys to do this. So here's what it says is known about the suspect in the parade tragedy. And this comes not too long after the Astro World tragedy, where, if this didn't scare people before we're going to all these mass things, I think now it's making people really think about their safety when going out to any, mass groups and gatherings.
40 casualties down Main Street. Alert all the hospital.
This horror at high speed.
Wow!
Now revealed to be an intentional act.
A lone subject intentionally drove his maroon SUV through barricades into a crowd of people that was celebrating the Waukesha Christmas parade.
Police say the driver of this vehicle seen racing through the Waukesha holiday parade Sunday will be charged with killing 5 people ages 52 to 81 as more victims continue to fight for their lives.
The suspect involved in this tragic incident is identified as Darrell E. Brooks, male, 39 years of age, who is a resident of the city of Milwaukee. And we are confident he acted alone. There's no evidence that this is a terrorist incident.
Police say Darrell Brooks was driving away from the scene of a domestic disturbance when he plowed through the Christmas parade. It was not his first interaction with police this month. A criminal complaint from earlier in November shows a list of charges, including recklessly endangering safety, disorderly conduct, and battery. The complaint also alleges Brooks, quote, intentionally and without consent, ran another person over with his vehicle while they were walking through the parking lot. He was out on $1,000 bail, a recommendation the DA says was, quote, inappropriately low. CNN reached out to Brooks's attorney regarding the incident earlier this month, but has not yet received a response. In addition to those killed, nearly 50 people were injured Sunday, including several children.
6 of these patients were sent to the operating room last night, and 2 additional patients are undergoing surgeries today.
Children's Hospital Milwaukee confirms it received 18 patients Sunday evening, ages 3 to 16,
Ay, Dios mío.
including 3 sets of siblings.
Injuries ranged from facial abrasions to broken bones to serious head injuries.
I could see kids just laying on the street, people putting blankets over them, trying to attend to them, kids screaming on the sidewalks.
At least one witness says the driver continued to speed through the street, even after hitting several people.
It hit at least 2 people right away, rolled over both of them, and then kept going. It didn't stop.
And we see, sadly, blatant disregard for human life. What seems like an intentional act. They say that allegedly he had an altercation or a domestic dispute. And also apparently he has a jacket listed with other offenses, including running somebody else over. So the chief is saying no motive is still known to why he would do this. They just know he had a domestic disturbance earlier and left the scene just prior to driving his SUV through the parade. And, as you've seen from the clips, he had no regard for people's safety or anybody else's life, just speeding through. They say he was out on bond before the crash of $1,000 bail early in the month, which is definitely going to raise some questions in regards to the justice system. Recently, we've seen the release of Kyle Rittenhouse. So, people are going to look at it and say, well, people who have done criminal activities being released back out on the streets can only go out and potentially do the same thing again. So, yeah, once again, we definitely want to offer our condolences to all those affected in this circumstance, in this tragedy. And we'll try and continue an update on this as the story develops. So everybody stay safe out there. Look out for you folks. Stay up, stay woke. And if I was you, I'd avoid a lot of these mass gatherings and stuff. It seems to be a shame right now that, after all the lockdown of the pandemic, a lot of people want to get out and, be back out in groups and stuff and, sort of congregate with people. But as we've seen with some of these tragedies, I know it's not always the case, but sometimes it can lead to sad circumstances